Welcome to part 3 of Let's Play The Rings of Kether by Andrew Chapman. At the end of the last part, I was on paragraph 312. Let's reread this paragraph as a reminder. Okay, the asteroid is covered with batteries of phasers and, having been alerted to your presence by your passage through the minefield, is using them in an attempt to deprive you of your life. So it's trying to kill us. You will have to fight these outer defenses before attempting to land. If you have any smart missiles left, you may launch them. For each smart missile deployed, the asteroid will lose 2 shields. Asteroid Defenses, weapon strength 9, shield 6. If you win, you may either dock at the main entrance, turn to 117, or at one of the few emergency airlocks set into the asteroid's surface, turn to 273. Okay, so Asteroid Defenses. And weapon strength, that was 9, and shields were 6. Whoops, E, there we are. Okay, now it said that we could use our smart missiles, so let's do so. So down to 0. For each smart missile used, it takes off 2 stamina, so that puts it down to 2. There we go. Okay, now we're doing ship-to-ship combat. How this works is we roll for me first. If I roll 2 dice and it's equal to or higher than my weapon strength score, then I've missed. If it's lower than my weapon strength score, then it takes off 1 point from their shields. Then if they're still alive, then they do it. If the dice roll is higher, another dice roll is higher than their weapon strength score, they've missed, and if it's lower, then they get me. But it's greater than or equal to. We have to remember that. Anyway, so my weapon strength is 12. So I get 12, that means I've missed, so that's that. Okay, now we're rolling for them. So their one is 9, and they get a 6. That means they've hurt me. So that means that 12 was pretty unlucky, actually, if I'm being brutally honest. Anyway, so that puts my shields down to 3. Because there's only 1 out of 36 probability of getting rolling a 12 when you roll 2 dice. Anyway, yeah, now we're doing it again, so I need this to be 12 or lower. What are the odds? What are the odds? Well, 1 out of 36, and each one is independent, so yeah, that's just how it is. Anyway, so I miss again, which is fantastic, obviously. Now we're rolling for them, and they get a 5, which means they hurt me again. Okay, so that puts me down to 2 shields. Because I've lost another one. Anyway, now rolling for me again, and we get a 10. That means I've hurt them. That puts them down to 1. And now we're rolling for them. We need this to be 9 or greater. Then it means that they've missed, which they have. Or they get a 12 this time. Wow. Okay, good. That means they've missed. Yeah, we still need to do 1 more hit. Anyway, we need this to be 12, actually lower than 12. So all this, just, and we get 11, which is 1 out of 18 probability of getting. Anyway, so yeah, so we've got 11, and that means they're destroyed. So they don't get another hit or another attempt at a hit on us, and that puts them down to 0. Anyway, that's the end of the asteroid defenses, and now we're deciding if we're going to. If you win, you may either dock at the main entrance, turn to 117, or at one of the few emergency airlocks set into the asteroid's surface, turn to 273. Okay, we're going to dock at one of the few emergency airlocks set into the asteroid's surface and turn to 273. Okay, the surface of the asteroid is pockmarked and glowing from your assault. You bring your spacecraft down and spacewalk across to the airlock. Once through it, you find yourself at the end of a long zero-gravity tunnel heading into the bowels of the asteroid. Floating down it, you come across an airtight security door set in one of the walls. It is unmarked. Will you continue down the tunnel, turn to 195, or go through the door, turn to 234? Okay, we're going to continue down the tunnel and turn to 195. Okay, the tunnel ends in a large cylindrical chamber. Floating in front of you, blocking your passage, is a device constructed of 4 cubes set in the shape of an X with a cubic hole in the center. Bright blue bolts of electricity fly between the cubes through the central hole. With a low hum, it begins to approach. The flashing becomes more frequent and begins to lash out towards you in great electric arcs. Will you fire at this device with your blaster, 10 to 78? Try to dive past it, 10 to 39, or take a flying leap at it to hit it with your boots and thus hopefully send it out of control, 10 to 380. Well, first of all, let's have a look at the picture. And we are going to try to dive past it, and 10 to 39. Roll 2 dice. If the result is higher than or equal to your skill, 10 to 302. If the result is less than your skill, 10 to 341. Okay, our skill is also 12, which is very lucky, isn't it? Wow. So we need this to be lower than your skill. If it's equal to or higher, it's bad. Anyway, so we need this to be lower than 12, which it was. Good. So we're turning to 341. Nearly there. Here we go. You dive past it and head towards the exit, 10 to 185. Okay, the exit leads you down another zero-gravity tunnel to a crossroads. You have 3 tunnels from which to choose. Straight ahead, 10 to 293, left, 10 to 332, or right, 10 to 146. Okay, we're going to go straight ahead and 10 to 293. The tunnel ends in an enormous, rough-hewn cavern. Through the centre of this cavern, in a line heading to the exit on the other side, hang 3 metallic spheres, each adorned with what seem to be large loop-shaped handles. The rest of the cavern is filled with bulbous creatures devoid of eyes or other sensory organs, bar a set of long tentacles with which they constantly search the zero-gravity space around themselves. Would you try reaching the other side by jumping from sphere to sphere, 10 to 137, or by wending your way through those bulbous creatures, 10 to 254? Okay. We're going to try reaching the other side by jumping from sphere to sphere, 10 to 137. First of all, let's have a look at the spheres. There we go. Okay, 137. Okay, roll 2 dice. If the result is higher than or equal to your skill, 10 to 98. If the result is less than your skill, 10 to 59. Okay. Yeah, that's 8. That's less than my skill, so let's turn to 59. Okay, you make it to the first sphere and jump for the next. Roll 2 dice. If the result is higher than or equal to your skill, 10 to 10. If the result is less than your skill, 10 to 361. Okay, that's still less than our skill, so because that was a 7. So let's turn to 361. Okay, you make it to the second sphere and jump for the next. Roll 2 dice. If the result is higher than or equal to your skill, 10 to 322. If the result is less than your skill, 10 to 244. Okay, we get a 5, which is less than our skill, so let's turn to 244. I think if we fail, it's 4 points of stamina taken off every time, so yeah, not very good. Anyway, You make it to the third sphere. From here you easily make it to the other exit. Turn to 283. Going through it, you find yourself in a large chemical laboratory. Stainless steel and glass apparatus rise on all sides. This must be the factory proper. Here is where most of the Federation's illegal Satophil D comes from. There is nobody about, so you busy yourself destroying some of the equipment. While doing this, you notice two exits from the room. A door and a corridor. Which will you take? The door, turn to 166, or the corridor, turn to 205. Okay, let's have a quick look. Okay, we're going to take the corridor and turn to 205. There we are. Now the corridor leads to a small storeroom where evidently, I'll start again. The corridor leads to a small storeroom where evidently the finished Satophil D is packaged prior to shipment to Kether. Large quantities in both powder and tablet form are present. You may take a small amount as evidence if you wish. If so, add it to your equipment list. Leaving the store, you go back into the laboratory and through the other exit. Turn to 166. Okay, we're going to take some Satophil D as evidence. Let's write that down. It's a proper noun, so yep. For evidence purposes, there we go. I'll start a new line. Yep, let's carry on. Turn to 166. You enter a room which has gravity. Before you is a wide, deep pit spanned by a narrow bridge with no handrail. On the bridge stands a tripedal alien holding electric braces in each of its three paws. It is considering you with 3 eyes. Thankfully, it has only one mouth, albeit a very large one. Halt, it says, and then, without waiting to see if you do, fires several bright bolts of electrons at you. If you possess any Satophil D, turn to 127. Otherwise, turn to 88. There it is. Interesting alien. Okay, anyway, we do possess some Satophil D, because we just took some as evidence, so turn to 127. You take out a few tablets of the drug and dodge towards the bridge, bright gashes of electrons dancing around you. When you are close to the alien, you throw the Satophil D into its gapingly huge mouth and duck back to the door. The monster stops firing, chews a bit, squats on its haunches, and then slips over into the pit. Turn to 49. Okay, yep, that's good. So we don't have any... Okay, so we don't have the Satophil D anymore, so that's used, so we can't use it for evidence anymore. Never mind. And we're turning to 49. With the alien vanquished, you cross the bridge and go down the exit corridor, coming shortly to a T-junction. Yeah, coming shortly to a D-junction. Will you turn to the left, turn to 352, or the right, turn to 20? Okay, again, it doesn't matter too much which way we go here, but there's an easy and a hard way. We are going to turn right because it's the easier of the two ways, so we're going to turn to 20. Okay, the corridor takes you to the control room of the asteroid's nuclear reactor. There are plenty of instrument panels covering the walls, but strangely, other than a keyhole, no controls, must be completely automatic. If you have the key to fit this hole, turn to 391, otherwise you return to the T-junction and head down the other corridor, turn to 352. Okay, what do we have? We have a key for shutting down reactor, so that's quite good. So we do have a key for this hole, and we're turning to 391. Okay, turning the key in the hole results in a horrible grinding noise coming from the reactor. Sirens begin to sound throughout the asteroid's passageways. A synthesized voice booms, "Warning, gravity shielding withdrawn. Meltdown will occur in approximately 5 minutes. Warning, gravity," and so on. All the instrument panels flash in panic. The ceiling drops away to reveal a small airlock marked "Emergency Exit." It leads you to the surface of the asteroid. From here you scuttle back to your spacecraft and make a hasty retreat. The asteroid explodes in a ball of radioactive fire, taking the refinery, stores, shuttles, and evidently the rest of the criminal organization with it. Congratulations, your mission is a success. And that's that. Okay, that's the end of the book. Our mission was a success. Yes, there's nothing more to talk about here. So we were successful. I'll just say I've used this as well. And that's that. So only 3 parts of this one. Like the other futuristic ones I've done, this one again is quite short, only a couple of battles, which is in stark contrast to the load of battles I had to do in Trial of Champions, good old Ian Livingstone. But yeah, that's the end of that. Thank you for watching. Let's play The Rings of Kether. We'll just have a look at the picture. There we go. That's the end of the narcotics operation in the galaxy. And that's it. Yeah, thanks for watching. Let's just have a quick look at paragraph 400 and see if that's any different. Oh, they've repeated a thing there, haven't they? Look, 397, then 397 again. Yeah, I think paragraph 400 is where you go if you took the other path, if you went left, and you didn't have the key for the reactor. If you don't have the key for the reactor, I think you have to fight another robot or something, and then you end up here. So that's that, and then yeah, so that's also a complete success. Anyway, so yeah, it's either a hard way or an easy way, which is kind of strange. Complete contrast to Ian Livingstone, where there's only one right way. Here, there's more than one right way, but just one's harder than the other, which is a bit nicer, I think, because Ian Livingstone's books are really, really hard. Anyway, yes, that's that. Next video series will be Star Wars on the Sega Master System. Look forward to that. Then I'll do... What book comes after this one? I can't remember. I think it's the Deep Sea or something. Yeah, Seas of Blood. There we are. Yeah, we'll do Seas of Blood, which I think is another swords and sorcery one, but a more nautical swords and sorcery. Yeah, and then we've got Appointment with Fear, then Rebel Planet, then Demons of the Deep, and then Sword of the Samurai. Then we'll have to do Robot Commander because we've done Trial of Champions, and then Masks of Mayhem. Then we've done Creatures of Havoc. Then Beneath Nightmare Castle. That sounds like a fun one. Can't remember if I've ever done that one, to be honest. Anyway, enough of that. Anyway, yeah, so thanks for watching, and goodbye.